much of what we heard today we knew going in. There's never been a budget campaign quite like this one over the past few weeks. So who will be happy? Who won't be happy? We've invited BNN Bloomberg's John Erlichman to sift through the promises. And John, this is a budget framed, as the Prime Minister said, to address generational fairness. We're talking about millennials and Gen Z. Was there enough to temper their concerns, especially on affordability?
Well, certainly on the issue of affordability, Sandy, for many people, the frustration with home prices is a starting point. And so the fact that you've seen so much money directly focused on that area, as you said, we heard a lot in the weeks leading up to the budget, perhaps not a surprise, but that is the primary lens through which we can address a problem which we've had for a long time before we were even talking about inflation or higher interest rates. Now, the challenge for the government itself is that it too has to navigate a higher interest rate environment because they're trying to be fiscally sound or as close to it as possible. They're dealing with their own interest payments that are going up. And as we heard in Annie's report, there is a trade-off being made here. If you want to make sure that you can have affordability, particularly on housing or with childcare as well, and you're going to keep those spending programs going and possibly growing, then there has to be some kind of trade-off. And we saw that, for example, with something like the increase with the capital gains tax today.
Okay, so that leads into my other question, which you partially answered. What do you think about Ottawa's plan to pay for the promises?
Well, you know, Sandy, we've been talking to representatives from the business community, and that would include self-made entrepreneurs and the head of the country's leading stock exchange. Coming into this announcement today, post-announcement, a lot of them talked about what matters most to them for the country going forward, which is more productivity, creating an environment that will ensure that we see more investment in the country over the long term. Now, these headlines on capital gains complicate that story. They complicate it because money is mobile. Businesses, individuals can make choices about where they invest, where they live. The finance minister talked about weighing those considerations, but even small and medium businesses might have to make some tough choices in the years ahead. So that's the balancing act that the federal government's going to have to navigate, Sandy.
Okay, as always, John, thank you for the analysis. Appreciate it.